Sup Team KBA, One Tech Traveler here, back again with another video in the Last Shelter universe. Now, it just crossed my mind that quite a few of you have been finishing up your Eden, so congratulations. I hope you had a great season with all of the challenges, successes, but of course, most importantly, getting those sweet rewards. I saw a lot of you like really blowing up my SX legendary ticket, which group to choose article, so I wanted to put out a video to accompany that. If you prefer to read it, I'll put a link down below where you can choose to do so. But I hope this video is going to make your life a little bit easier to try and get the best out of your Eden rewards and which group you should choose depending on your current heroes, development, who you're targeting, and just the number of tickets that you're able to get. So let's get started. Either side of me, you're going to see group 1 and group 2 with a selection of heroes that the tickets may allow you to get. Now, provided that you hit the achievements or necessary requirements for getting these SX tickets through Eden and of course from the DD shop, then you'll have a certain number that you can play with, some more than others depending if you won or you ranked well, and some just with a limited pool. So I'm going to kind of give my best thoughts to approach both those who have more tickets and those who have little tickets for SX heroes. Now, I imagine these groups haven't changed since I finished my season 5 Eden Dissidia. If they have, I'll probably be doing an updated view, especially with the new heroes that were announced, Retrograder and Lust, who I'm talking about in the next video, where they're going to sort of add those into the pool, maybe shifting things around. But currently, for Group 1, we have the Huntress, Scarlet Siren, Predator, Rose Noir, Organic, Nomad, Crochet, Iron Sentinel, Betrayed, Hunk, Patriot, and the Wanderer. So that means in Group 2, we have Prophet, Wrath, Shadow, Glutton, Canoness, Lone Wolf, Kamikaze, Heaven's Redemption, Death Rider, Crusher, Valkyrie, and Sven. Those are the 2 groups that you can choose where you want those SX legendary tickets to pull from. So the question that is probably on a lot of your mind are which groups should you be pulling for? And depending on how many tickets or how many Doomsday coins you have, whether you should be spending them for another SX ticket or using it for pre-SX heroes in the hero selection. Now, there's a clear distinction between the kind of heroes you get from Group 1 and Group 2. Group 1 is primarily focused around the best shooter heroes that you can get, whereas Group 2 is mainly focused around the top and the best kind of vehicle and fighter heroes. Now, if you are vehicle focused with your current heroes or targeting, and maybe you pulled some tickets in your season with the smaller drops, then it's a no-brainer. Group 2 should be the one that you are going for. If you have more of a shooter setup or very well developed with the vehicle heroes that you have, and you kind of want to enhance the wider selection, or just, you know, shooters are your best bet, then you want to go for Group 1. If you want to target the best fighter heroes, they are going to be in Group 2. So shooters Group 1, fighters and vehicle heroes Group 2. Easy enough. Now, the next part of these groups is just how risky they are, and in terms of whether you are going to more likely land a good hero, or there's kind of a riskiness involved with maybe not so good heroes that you can pick. Starting off with Group 1, the top heroes that you can get from this selection are the Huntress, Scarlet Siren, Predator, the Nomad, and yeah, those are kind of like top tier, the best of the rest. The next layer of highly rated or very solid heroes that you'd still be happy to have are Organic, Crochet, Rose Noir, Betrayed. Yeah, let's go with that. And then maybe that are decent but a little bit underwhelming. I'm just going to pull them all together, would be Hunk, Patriot, Iron Sentinel, and the Wanderer. Now, that's not necessarily to say that they are just like a waste. A lot of it is just, you know, their potential, their synergy with other heroes, and just the way that they can really make a difference in an APC versus those that aren't so much, maybe limited or just generally fairly weak. Group 1 is kind of that high risk, high reward kind of pool. I think there's a lot of excellent shooter heroes in there, not just, you know, the back row damage dealer like Nomad, but just being able to set up a full APC with Nomad, Predator, Koshei. Hunk, Predator, Nomad also is one of the top sort of mixed APC formations, while you can still make really great ones even if you don't necessarily get Nomad. Getting Rose Noir instead is also very good, and you do have a few alternatives in there. However, saying that, there is a high risk of, if you don't land the right pairings, then the weaker heroes like Wanderer, everyone knows me with Wanderer, Iron Sentinel, Patriots, like if you don't have good heroes around them, then them by themselves are gonna be weak, so you might not be happy with that. Now moving on to Group 2, it differs from Group 1 in that there are generally very high quality heroes across the range from the best and even the minimum baseline. You are more likely to get a great, excellent or top tier hero in Group 2 than you are in Group 1. Bear in mind, it is more focused around vehicles and fighters, but if you want to give yourself a much better chance of landing great heroes that you can sort of, you know, formation build or work on over time, even if you don't necessarily have something right now, Group 2 is going to be the one you want to dip into. The top heroes in this will be Wrath, Kamikaze, Heaven's Redemption, Death Rider, Sven specifically for force tiling like only, Canoness. Those are the top, so you can see there's far more top tier heroes that I rate in this. And then you still have highly rated heroes like Crusher, Prophet, Glutton. Yeah, and then slightly below that, going with very solid heroes, very solid heroes, gonna be Valkyrie, the Shadow, and then kind of on the lowest point would be Lone Wolf. So you have much more in the higher range in Group 2 compared to those in the Group 1, which is kind of top and lower, like the extremes of them. Now, in my opinion, most of you should be dropping into Group 2. Unless you have a lot of SX tickets, it's going to be very risky pulling to Group 1, whereas in Group 2, you are going to get a great hero pickup nonetheless, like kind of regardless, with a few that have like better versions of them. So for example, Lone Wolf in Group 2 is superseded by Scarlet Siren in Group 1, the Shadow in Group 2, the Koshei, you know, Hunk, those sort of shooter lineup or combinations are going to generally give you a bit more. But again, hero pairings, you can kind of make the most of what you get. If you do land those heroes, like no problem, you can still work and develop until you get something better along. But for vehicles, considering how they are just super strong, mainly used in your daily basis, and mainly used on your day-to-day for like KE, you know, tiling, like getting places quicker, then Group 2 is kind of a no-brainer. And the top tier are really top tier. You know, we're talking Kamikaze, Death Rider, Heaven's Redemption, Canoness, definitely Wrath. All of at least those four are going to be big game changers in your APC. So I would highly recommend majority of you, whether you ranked not so well or ranked decent but don't have many tickets, go into Group 2. Now, of course, if you want to just target shooter APCs and give yourself the best chance of getting those top tier heroes and you're willing to take the gamble, then yes, for Group 1. Just bear in mind, like I said, there are very risky, like underwhelming heroes that if you do land them, they're not going to give you as good of a return compared to if you don't land the right heroes in Group 2. My bias might be coming in because I prefer Group 2, but I do understand for, you know, if you want to target also one of the top like vehicle heroes in Group 1, which is Huntress, that really kills it and gives an alternative for, you know, vehicles, and you're kind of happy targeting shooters at the same time. Awesome. Scarlet Siren, also a great top tier hero in Group 1 that would complement, you know, Canoness, Glutton, like Prophet in Group 2. So there are, of course, great heroes from Group 1 and Group 2. Really depends on the number of SX tickets. I think I had 3 SX tickets from my first Eden Dissidia. One is for the personal, one's for the guild development, and then one is from where we ranked within the guild occupation value. So just 3 SX tickets. Now, if you don't have that much, then you might want to consider using the DD coin shop to get yourself extra SX tickets, especially if you don't have many recruitment like super tickets to drop into the pools, or you didn't get good luck. If you're in your like first SX season, I honestly would just go in with the SX tickets. You can always play safe with pulling like the top pre-SX heroes in the Doomsday coin shop later on, but if you give yourself more chance and more options with SX heroes and having access to up to 2 SX tickets for Group 1 and then 2 SX tickets for Group 2, then it's going to give you, it might give you better development if they land well with the heroes, versus playing it safe and then, you know, having to go through the smaller drops, even if they are smaller, 3, 6, 4 heroes. The RNG is still roughly 80 or 90, which for some of you might take a long time to build. Some of you that are going through the VIP store or having to top up with the paid packs, or some of you, you know, tickets aren't a problem. I would still say SX tickets, go for it. I did that, I risked it, and I went into Group 2. Not necessarily saying that you're going to get the same returns, but of the 2 SX tickets I bought from the Doomsday shop, even though I kind of wanted to get my Captain Ivanov done, I thought, you know, you can always play it safe later. I'd rather just give myself more chances with SX heroes, because you never know. Again, Group 2 is very strong. I ended up with 2 kamikazes from my SX tickets in the Doomsday shop, which was crazy nuts. Really awesome, and it's definitely helped with my development heroes. Whereas if you want to pull in Group 1, there's a good stack of those shooters and very few fighters and vehicle heroes, but the risk is you could land a Wanderer, you could land a Hunk, the Betrayed. So using your Doomsday coins for an SX ticket in Group 1 is far more riskier. I prefer to just put it into Group 2. I feel much more confident knowing Wanderer's not in there, Iron Sentinel's not in there, like just kind of mediocre average heroes. Here in Group 2, there's really, I would say like 95% of the heroes you're going to be happy with. Like honestly, they're all great in their own ways. There are of course those that are stronger that I mentioned before, but they all can serve a role and a purpose and flesh out your other APC lineups. Even for mixed APCs, you never know. So bringing that all together, which group should you pull for your SX legendary tickets? Group 2, vehicles, fighters. Group 1, high risk, high reward, shooters. If you want to play the safer route, go for Group 2. If you want to chance it with the odds and kind of the heroes, Group 1. Now for your Doomsday coins, depending how many you have left over, those should be saved only for the hero selection tickets pre-SX, so S2, 3, 4. You only want to be spending it on the key heroes to develop that are still relevant in SX. Even if you can sort of max heroes that you've got, you know, you're better off just using it where the heroes are just far stronger and potent if you are targeting pre-SX. Season 2 is the cheapest one and is probably the best way you can upgrade an APC through Captain Ivanov. If you have coins to spare, you could pick up Panther for his force tile and pros like Panther Anna Ivanov. Panther Sven Ivanov is going to really set you up well for Doomsday or Eden, so target that. But Captain Ivanov, I would place higher because he's more versatile, being relevant for tiling, but also really potent for combat. Now, when it comes to S3 and S4, you can do the selection tickets if you find that you only have a few heroes that you want to, if you find you have a few heroes that you kind of want to fill in or max. S3, Tech Priestess should be kind of the number one. She's just a game changer with mixed APCs, fighters, and just her healing setup is like no other. So she is a no-brainer and right up there. Then the next two could be kind of either or, Major Anna and then Countdown. Countdown's still an awesome, and I find stronger in Essex. People kind of play her down because of her disarm, like no basic troop attacks, but her troop recovery block for 2 turns, I actually rate that a lot, and it works very well. So Countdown and Major Anna from S3 are good spends, and then S4, Hummingbird. Caesar is also very strong in Essex because of his like high counters, disarm, silence, and enemy like debuffs of bringing might and resistance down a notch. But yeah, Hummingbird, definitely the top buy from S4. Before you spend your coins on pre-Essex tickets, like yeah, those blue vouchers, 250 for S2, 300 for S3 and S4. Chance it with those selection tickets that you would also get from your rewards. Don't spend it on S2 because again, it's really just Captain Ivanov that you want from there, and then to a degree Panther. But you might as well chance that on the tickets that cost more in the Doomsday coins, which is S3 and S4. So if you are targeting Hummingbird, you know, it could be Deus Ex Machina, who's also relevant for shooters. See if you can pull it from those selection tickets. If you land it, great. If you don't, well, at least you tried. Or you can pull it in S3, and then yeah, see if they can fill in before you really use your coins, because that is the only other way you can get those Essex tickets. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit about strategy. The groups, I'm kind of pro group 2, at least early on in your Essex seasons, because the quality and the range of them are just going to give you that big boost in your early developments that you can sort of target in the smaller drops for normal super tickets in future seasons. Whereas yeah, if you're willing to go for a risk and maybe have a few more Essex tickets from your rewards, then dropping a few into group 1, if it works out, awesome, because yeah, they're going to be super dope and really game changing. Nomad Predator, nice setup. Scarlet Siren, she's top tier, not necessarily like a must have across the whole lineup, but top tier for fighters nonetheless. Huntress also would be I would say a must have. I mentioned the risk there versus, you know, being able to pull Death Rider, and if you don't pull Death Rider, you can still get some other quality vehicle heroes to pair up with. Yeah, but Huntress, really unique in the way she's set up, very killer to counter other strong APCs. And then even if you don't get a, you know, organic kind of that support vehicle hero in there, you could also land him. So yeah, that's kind of it really. There's only so much you can do in terms of which group you should go for, because in the end it's just down to the randomized nature of what hero you get regardless of the ticket you pull. But I do say group 2 is going to give you on more generally a quality hero if you don't land the top heroes, whereas group 1, if you don't land the top heroes, they could be pretty lackluster. But hey, it is what it is. The choice is yours. Just my thoughts of how I think you should drop your SX tickets. I accept no liability or responsibility or fault if you don't get the hero that you were hoping based on me suggesting the group. Think for yourself. But you're going to give yourself a better chance at group 2. That's going to help you out. And then, yeah, you know, group 1, super strong for shooters. Just be prepared to accept the risk of possibly not pulling a great hero if you don't get them. But yeah, that's kind of it. Again, if you want to see more of my written piece of thoughts about which group you should pull for the SX Legendary tickets, check it out, OneTechTraveler.com. Also did my recent hero profile for Retrograder, which is doing really well, especially the video, so check it out. And next one up is going to be Lust. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below or leave a comment on my SX Legendary ticket article, and I'll be happy to get back to it. But let me know down in the comments how it went, if it paid off, if you took the risk and you got the hero you really wanted, if you played it safe and still got great heroes or the ones you wanted, awesome. Even if you didn't get the heroes you wanted, like, again, understanding these heroes and trying to get the best out of them, you'll realize they're not as bad as maybe what people say they are, as like face value. There's always ways how you can try and get the most out of them. And then, you know, you just take it, and then you focus on, you know, next season and what heroes you want to target to make them stronger, or new heroes in general. So yeah, that's it, Team KBA. Thanks for watching. That wraps up the video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't yet, join the Team KBA community by subscribing to my YouTube channel, and check out OneTechTraveler.com for more stories, articles, and videos around tech, travel, and gaming. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, keep being awesome. Peace.